I can make it there. I'll make it anywhere. It's up to you, New York, New York.
Good morning, everyone. How we doing? Happy Saturday. It's the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast, and I am your host, Richie. On today's show, we're going to be speaking about my guys, the New York Knickerbockers, advancing to their first Eastern Conference Finals in 25 years. We're also going to talk about the events of part one of a six-game slate of the Subway Series. The first game goes in favor of the New York Yankees, 6-2 victory over the rival Mets. And it goes without saying that Juan Soto was the story yesterday. We're going to start there, MLB. I want the feedback of both fan bases, whoever catches the show either live or just when it's out on the streams. But how does everyone feel about the reactions, so to speak, that the bleacher creatures brought Juan Soto, screaming the profanities in the air and showing him their backs? The bleacher creatures, similar to the Seven Line in Queens, very animated fans. Very, very animated fans, and that goes without saying. But I'm curious what each of you guys think about that. As the game goes, the first matchup between Rodon and Soto, it seemed like the nerves were getting the better of Rodon in the moment. Soto playfully acknowledged the boos and the profanities, and does what he does best, and that's get on base, even if he's not using the wood. He was able to draw 3 walks during the course of the game. I think that Carlos Rodon and the bullpen alike all showed up yesterday and did what they needed to do. And the Yankees had a wonderful day at the plate. Cody Bellinger extends his hitting streak to 11 games. But, when both teams are as good right now as the Yankees and the Mets are, you always want to get that statement victory to get it started. And that's something that the Yankees were able to do. When I lived in New York, I've been to my fair share of Subway Series games, and there is a different kind of electricity that those games bring. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of excitement. I had the pleasure and privilege of being in Citi Field to witness the 20th anniversary of 9/11, seeing Joe Torre and Bobby Valentine, um, hugging it out, shaking hands, and just honoring all those that we lost. Shows that some things are bigger than baseball. That, of course, was about the city of New York, those that we lost, and those that, survived. And I think that series was really about the strength of New York City. But these are great, great series. And the atmosphere could be an appetizer for what we're going to see if both these teams make the World Series. And believe me, both these teams are very capable of doing just that. I said on a recent show that I believe that Francisco Lindor of the New York Mets is checking all the boxes to potentially be their captain. And my great friend Richie Dorney, who is a diehard Met fan, was actually in the Bronx supporting his team yesterday, and we both share the same sentiments that Lindor is taking those steps to be that guy. Something that might get overlooked because of all the Soto banter and stuff Devin Williams looking great in the one-on-one matchup with Pete Alonso and getting a necessary strikeout after the fateful home run that Devin Williams gave up in the playoff series against the Milwaukee Brewers. Excuse me, as a Milwaukee Brewer against the New York Mets. His immediate career trajectory has taken a nosedive while Alonso's has been excellent. Of course, Alonso is playing with a chip on his shoulder, as to some levels he didn't feel wanted by the Mets. Ultimately, he and Soto are trying to be a formidable combo on the level that Judge and Soto were last year. I'm going to say this and hopefully put this to bed once and for all. I have no bad for Juan Soto leaving and taking the money. I think anybody that wouldn't take that money would have to be out of their minds. Let's make that clear. Phenomenal contract that the New York Mets offered him. I don't consider Juan Soto a five-tool player. I don't think he's a great fielder. However, I think his presence in any lineup immediately enhances those around him. I think him and Alonso hitting next to each other is going to benefit them both. And I've already alluded to the fact that I believe that Francisco Lindor is more than qualified and deserving of being the next New York Mets captain. I'm not one of these Yankee fans that's going to jump on here and start squawking. Wow, you look terrific, babe.
I do?
Yes, you do. We got to get you some tan and some sun today.
Yeah, that part.
My girlfriend's so beautiful. But truth be told, the most beauty of her is her soul. And no, I'm not trying to catch some brownie points by saying that, just speaking the real.
No.
But my girlfriend and I
I love you, baby.
dealing with love you too. My girlfriend and I are dealing with something unfortunate that occurred. I'm not going to speak on it, but all I'm going to say is much needed family time today. So shouts out to my mother. They have some business to take care of, but we're going to be doing a pool day at my mama's house. But back to the sports angle of this, sweetheart. When you have a moment, can I please get a little more coffee?
Absolutely.
Because obviously I'm not sweating enough out here. Thank you, dear. I actually stole
You want
yours.
some ice water also?
Sure. Thank you so much.
De nada,
I
papi.
appreciate you.
Anything for you, papi.
Thank you, dear.
I love you.
Sorry about that. Very casual and relaxed show today. I'm just chilling. It's a Saturday. All right. Um, yeah, the Devin Williams situation, being able to retire Alonso, as I think is the kind of thing that could bump his season trajectory into a better place. He's already been bumped out of the ninth inning in favor of Luke Weaver, as Luke Weaver has undeniably been the best bullpen arm. Jonathan Loaisiga coming back yesterday is massive. Really massive for this Yankees bullpen. He's a guy that they missed. He was hurt last year within the first week or two of the season. He missed all of last year. He got hurt this year. Um, but both these teams are showing me championship qualities. Both of these teams are showing me that they might have what it takes to play deep into October. I believe that in the American League, the biggest threat to the New York Yankees repeating as American League champions would probably be the Detroit Tigers. AJ Hinch is doing a phenomenal job with that roster. They have excellent pitching. And I just think top to bottom, they're a team that doesn't have a ton of weaknesses. I think that this particular year for the Yankees, their division is not as good as it usually is. But I think the Yankees are as good as they usually are. Um, the Red Sox, I did pick them as a preseason pick for one of the wild cards. They're going through a rough patch right now, but I do think that Boston, especially because of who Alex Cora is as a manager, could still be in play. And, it's only a quarter of the season done. There is so much more baseball to be played. But on my end, you're always happy whenever you're able to win one against a crosstown rival. And, a great day for New York sports yesterday as, the Mets and Yankees were both in first place, uh, you know, playing in the Subway Series Part 1. Part 2 will be in Queens later in the year. And the New York Knicks lighting it up, orange and blue, the Empire State Building. Just the most complete game as a team that they have played all season long, and it couldn't have come at a better time. After the embarrassing loss in Boston in Game 5, the Knicks just galvanized. And from the first whistle to the final whistle, from the first second to the final second, the New York Knicks were on a different wavelength yesterday. Just a complete team victory. Shout out to Miles McBride coming in, playing some big minutes. Mitchell Robinson, terrific off the bench. The Knicks ultimately won by 38 points, but they had a massive lead at the half as well. And the Boston Celtics, quite frankly, never had a chance yesterday. And, it's no secret that when you lose a player like a Jason Tatum, who is a top 5 player in the NBA, at least in my opinion, he is, there's a lot of adjustments. I give the Celtics credit for showing the heart of a champion in game 5 because it would have been very easy for them to pack it in early. Thank you, dear.
And nada, baby. You need anything else?
No, my love, I'm good. It would have been very easy for the Knicks to pack it in, rather the Celtics to pack it in, and guys were putting their bodies on the line, doing what they had to do. This is undeniably one of the weirdest series I have seen in my life of watching NBA basketball because you had two 20-point leads diminished where the Celtics could have easily won the first 2 games, and we're not having this conversation today about my Knicks. We saw the Knicks get blown out. Going into yesterday's game, the Knicks weren't even leading in terms of the overall score in the series. Boston came in game 3. A lot of people's red flags and alarms went off and said, uh-oh, the Knicks are in trouble. The Celtics woke up. The Knicks responded massively. And I think the most satisfying thing as a fan, besides the obvious, I'm going to age myself a little. Last time the New York Knicks were in this position, I was just starting college. Last time the Knicks closed something out at home of this magnitude, I was a senior in high school, the year that Patrick Ewing tore his Achilles and the players stepped up for him. So I could relate as a fan to what it was like in that locker room for the Boston Celtics, losing their guy, but still coming out and walloping the Knicks in game 5. This was a great series. I want to make that clear. I think the Celtics, even with the Tatum injury next year, are still going to be in the mix to win another NBA title. They are the standard in the NBA. I'm not going to come off and be one of these cocky New York fans. I'm grateful that we were able to weather the punches. But make no mistake, this series could have went differently. I'm happy it didn't. And you talk about great TV coming up. Not many rivalries were better in the 90s than Reggie Miller versus the New York Knicks. Pacers versus Knicks. The Hicks versus the Knicks. It don't get better than that if you're talking 1990s basketball. And the wonderful coverage from TNT is coming to an end in the near future. And Reggie Miller is going to be calling games for Pacers and Knicks. And you can't write a better script for TNT to go out on. Another interesting caveat, the last 2 times the New York Knicks were in the Eastern Conference Finals was against the Pacers. 99, we beat them. I think the play of that series was the Larry Johnson 4-point play. And I think the turning point in the series was game 1, where Patrick Ewing, in warrior-like fashion, played with a partially torn Achilles and willed his team to a game 1 victory in Market Square Arena. Fast forward to the next year, the Knicks were just not the same team. Ultimately, it led to Ewing being traded unceremoniously to the former Seattle Supersonics, who are now the Oklahoma City Thunder. And it turned into a very dark period for the New York Knicks, where they had minimal success in the year that we put Melo, Jay Kidd, Tyson Chandler, and co together. Those Pacers, once again, always linked to the Knicks. They ended our season. Last season, with these three, of course, Dante is no longer a member of the Knicks. I think that cool little commercial is alluding to the fact that he wants to come home and play with his brothers again. But, last year marred by injuries. If you guys have been following my show going back to last year, I was rather emotional when the Knicks season ended. There were a couple of moving parts. One of my prized possessions when I was a teenager was a pendant that my late grandfather bought me for the New York Knicks, and it happened to be his death anniversary, the day that the Knicks were eliminated last year. So when you have large family, you associate certain seasons with certain spirits, and believe you me, I have plenty of good ones that hang around and people that have profoundly given me this love for sports. And my grandfather was one of those people. But last year, painful, a lot of what ifs because the Knicks, I do believe last year could have potentially given the Boston Celtics a great series if we didn't have guys dropping the way they did. But the Knicks cannot enjoy this too much. There is still work to be done. The Indiana Pacers are not going to be an easy team to put away. And I'm going to go as far as saying that I think this series is going to go seven. But I do think the New York Knicks will prevail. I think the New York Knicks are going to go to their first NBA Finals since 1999. And there's something really gratifying as a fan when you stay the course with a team when they aren't even watchable. And it's been a long time since the New York Knicks have been watchable. Of course, Jalen Brunson, in my opinion, the greatest free agent addition in the history of this storied franchise, to really change the trajectory of everything. You make the trade, Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo for Cat, Karl Anthony Towns. And Karl Anthony Towns played very big yesterday, and I'm very proud of him for that. My man Idris Salam dropping a song yesterday in a playful fashion. I want to shout out my Boston friends, Stephen Ridlon, Corey Haddock. Great series, boys. Great series. I wish Jason Tatum a speedy, speedy recovery because we never want to see that. But I will say this: I think the Knicks would have won the series regardless. But I think there would have been a game seven if Tatum didn't go down like the way he did. It's hard to tell. It truly is hard to tell. This series had so many twists and turns. One of the more interesting series I've seen in quite some time. We got another basketball game going on today as the Denver Nuggets and the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to decide who is going to play the Minnesota Timberwolves. When game seven comes to be, my prediction is experience and having, in my opinion, the most versatile player in the National Basketball Association is going to hold the most important. As I think the Denver Nuggets are going to win this series. I think this is a series that should already be over. However, it's not. Denver has left too many opportunities out there, but I think they put it together. They go into a very rough place to win. And I'll say that Denver is going to beat the best team in the league because I think OKC is the best team in the league. But these playoffs have been wacky. I don't think too many people had Cleveland getting sent home in 5 games. Granted, they had some injuries. I certainly don't think anybody had the Knicks winning the series because nobody did, myself included. I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't pick the Knicks to win that series. But a very exciting NBA playoffs, and it's always interesting when you see the upsets. I personally would love to see the Minnesota Timberwolves and the New York Knicks get it on in the finals. I think Anthony Edwards on the grand stage, it would be really fun to see him and Jalen Brunson go at it. And I also think it's a lot of fun when two fan favorites, Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo, the former Knicks, and it's been a big debate all year. Who won that trade? I'm not sure. That's yet to be revealed, but I'll tell you what, both teams are damn good. And I miss Dante DiVincenzo so much. And I hope he does come back to the Knicks in due time. But really looking forward to seeing game two of the Subway Series today. Just happy, elated actually that my New York Knickerbockers have advanced to where they are right now. I'm over the moon, man. I'm just so happy. And like I said it before, one of the best things about being a sports fan is when you stay the course and when things finally start turning around. That's what the joy is. Because let's be real, being an avid sports fan is more pain than joy. Because just do the math. But New York Knicks, they just have such a devoted fan base, and this fan base deserves this. But until next time, I am Richie. I wish all of you a phenomenal Saturday. All blessings, all good things for all of you. And I want to say that I greatly appreciate all the support that you guys show me for the show. And I'm looking to get more people involved in the show. If you watch my show, if you love sports, I would love to get you in here and we talk some sports. It's always good to enhance the conversation even more by bringing in more people in. If you haven't already, make it a point to like and subscribe to the channel, the Richie X Jr. Sports Podcast on YouTube. Also, please check out the V Mix, the Vicious Mix. My man Idris Salam throwing down just phenomenal music mixes on live365.com. You can also check out Idris and the beautiful Miss Coco on the Casual Convo Show. Also, good friend of the show, Johnny Nast, in addition to what he does on the Basement Show, has his own thing that he is starting up called the Sports Corner featuring Mr. Nast. Definitely make sure to show my man, Mr. Nast, some support, as he is just one of the great guys and, a fellow podcaster. So always looking to show love to people that are just doing it and trying their best to do what their passion is. Check out the Bleed Blue podcast as well. Have a great day, everyone.